Welcome back, Plant Science. So now we're going to learn a little bit about water and nutrients, which are the last two key factors of growth and germination of a plant. We also have temperature in there, which we'll touch on a little bit here as well. But water is important because it allows plant access in absorbing important nutrients, and it also aids in photosynthesis. And in landscape designs or in just arboretums or any type of plant setting that we have or indoor landscapes, we can install different types of irrigation systems such as automatic sprinklers or water plants ourselves. Basically, no matter what you choose, if you want to manually water plants or if you want to provide some type of irrigation system, it's important that plants always have access to water. And with that said, you also want to make sure that the plants are kept in an appropriate temperature. That does influence germination to an extent. Light and water kind of combine forces to provide equitable or adequate temperature for plants to be successful in their germination. And lastly, we have nutrients. So we're going to talk a lot about plant nutrition here in the next coming presentations because it's a really important topic, and we'll talk about it a lot when we get into our soil science unit here in the next section of the course. But just for now, I want to share a couple of key definitions with you all. Macronutrients are nutrients that are used in the largest amount. So kind of think of a Big Mac. So macronutrients, big amount. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are the three major macronutrients that we're going to talk a lot about here in the coming weeks and months and the rest of the semester. Then we have our intermediate nutrients, and these are nutrients that are needed for the plant growth and are needed in quantities somewhere between macro and micro levels. And then, of course, we have our micronutrients, which are 7 minor elements that are required in small or micro amounts. So they're important. You still need them, but just not as much. Then lastly, we have our non-minerals, and these are nutrients that assist in plant growth that are obtained mainly through the air. So, for example, oxygen. Okay. So we're going to talk a lot about photosynthesis in the coming weeks, as I promised, but this is the photosynthesis equation. And one thing I want to ask you to take a mental note, what do you think the big and small numbers are for? Well, the small numbers they help us determine what type of chemical we're looking at. So CO2, that is carbon, sorry, announcement. That is carbon dioxide. We have carbon and then 2 oxygens, so carbon dioxide, okay? So that's script down here, that's subscript, that is a signifier that it's CO2 or H2O, 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, H2O. The big numbers, okay, those are called coefficients, and those are what we change to balance out our equation. So let's take it, for instance, over here, okay? Let's look at our hydrogen, okay? So what's 6 times 2? 12, right? On the left side of the equation, these are our reactants. So what's combining? So we have carbon dioxide, water, and light energy, okay? So those are the things that are reacting in photosynthesis. And from photosynthesis, we're getting C6H12O6 plus 6O2, okay? So 6 times 2 again is 12, okay? That means there are 12 hydrogen atoms on the left side of our equation. And over here, we're balanced out and we have 12 hydrogen as well, okay? We're not gonna spend time doing this right now on the video, but if you went through, you would notice that there are exactly the same number of C, O, and H atoms on both sides of the equation. It is a balanced equation because we change these numbers, so 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, etc., or maybe there's none in front of it to balance both sides of the equation. And we'll talk a lot about balancing equations here when we get into our photosynthesis section in the class. Okay, so again, photosynthesis is when the plant intakes carbon dioxide and water and light to create glucose and oxygen. Okay, I have a nice little rap that I want you to watch. We're going to watch it later on in the class as well, but it's kind of fun and it's a good little introduction to what photosynthesis is all about. So go ahead, take a look at that. I'll see you here in the next video.